Good afternoon, my movie-loving brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movies, TV, screen-related news. I'm, of course, your humble host, Keith Toothman. I'm joined today by my friend and colleague, Shane Wallace. Shane, how are you doing on this lovely Tuesday afternoon?
Hey, I'm doing great. Great to be here, and great to now follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys, we have our at names up there, so be sure to go follow us on Twitter now that we got those up there for you guys, so you can keep up to date with what we're doing in our lives, because, you know, we're so cool. So, that being said, guys, sorry for the late start. There was a little bit of breaking news that I wanted to implement into the show today, so I think we're going to do that, and we'll get to that on the last thing we're going to talk about today. But how we like to do things around here is we like to go over a few main topics, and at the end of the show, we take any comments, questions you guys have down below in the chat section. So be sure to put any comments and questions you have, and then, of course, be sure to stick around so you can see those be answered. And if you're new, for sure hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it. With that being said, we're going to jump right into things. Shane, this isn't something I want to spend a lot of time on, but I kind of thought it was interesting. And it was kind of seeming like it was going to be a slow news day, but it rolled into something completely different. But Tobin Bell is said to be reprising his role in the next Saw installment. That being said, Shane, you haven't had a chance to see the newest Saw movie. I believe was actually not only starred Chris Rock, but I believe he wrote it or directed it or produced it.
I haven't seen the last 6 Saw movies. Saw 3 was the last one.
Right.
And I don't see Chris Rock's name anywhere else but as starring in.
Oh, okay. I thought I'm almost
could have been
sure
like an executive producer or something.
I'm almost sure he's the one that brought the idea to them, and he was like, "Hey, I have this idea for this Saw movie," and then they let him make it. And his plan was for him to star in it, and he did.
That is true. Yeah, he did come up with the concept and pitched it.
Yeah. So. I seen this in theaters, Shane, and like I was telling you, I had fun with it. It was a blast. It's not a great movie or anything, but I had really no expectations besides probably this isn't gonna be great. And I am a kind of a sucker for Chris Rock, I guess, in a way. He was in a lot of stuff in my childhood. He's very popular comedian,
You grew up with Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah,
you were at that age.
For sure. So maybe I had a little bit of bias, but I thought his dramatic acting was really cool, unique and different and unexpected. I didn't expect him to be able to do as good of a job as he actually did. That being said, I also didn't expect there to be Tobin Bell in that movie, and Tobin Bell is not in that movie. So I'm not sure if this is. I believe this is going to be a continuation of the Chris Rock installment, right? And that this is not a continuation of what you would say was what Shane Saw 6. So this isn't Saw 7. But technically, it's Saw 8.
it's Saw 10.
It's Saw 10.
And everything I'm seeing online is Saw X, which is the Roman numeral for 10.
Okay, sure.
So I think they are counting everything,
okay,
including the Jigsaw movie.
Okay.
And this Spiral as well.
Cool. I mean, that's very interesting.
And Saw 3D. Did you see Saw 3D?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Inevitably. I mean, it was probably.
I like the idea of Saw. I think Saw is a great villain for, the horror mythos. And, I think this is a nice franchise to keep coming back to every couple of years, even if I got burnt out. The idea is great. It's definitely not something that you've seen outside. I guess it's Road Warrior, the first time I've seen someone that was put into a choice to either disfigure themselves or save their life. That's a really cool concept that very few films outside the Saw franchise has dealt with. So I'm glad they're bringing it back.
We actually have some places here that opened up for Halloween, Shane, that I joked about on the show about chasing you around with chainsaws, but they have these ones that are like a room, almost like an escape room, but it's Saw. So they put like one of the things on your head and it's beeping and you got to, do these, whatever. I mean, so, it still interests people, right? People love that idea of,
could I survive?
Yeah,
what choice would I make?
right.
Yeah, because you're what's really cool with the Saw movies is you're no longer a viewer like with most horror movies like Michael Myers. We're just sitting there in the theater seeing, oh my God, who's he going to kill next? But Saw, it really puts you in that position. It's like, what would I do?
Yeah.
Would I make that same choice?
And then plus it's, the guy is like a serial rapist. And so you're watching, you don't even want him to succeed. Your part of you's like, well, it's messed up that he's in this situation, but kind of deserves it. So, So, very interesting. Love the Jigsaw Killer. I love that he, is kind of doing what's best for us and trying to rid of
it's his own justice system.
Yes, for sure. It is not what, a good version of justice, probably, or the best version of justice, but it is his version. That being said, also it's slated for October 27th, 2023.
Seems a little late. What about earlier in October?
I'm betting money that this moves up a couple weeks. Why wouldn't it? Why would you do that?
Looking at Smile,
how
much they've collected.
Right. Yeah, for sure. My only hope is that it doesn't turn into a Halloween Ends situation. And if so, then as long as it is a little scary because there was the Saw the final chapter, which is kind of like
Halloween Ends,
right?
Well, I did find the script for this new Saw movie, and it stars a character named Corey, who he goes to prison and he gets out, and now everyone picks on him, and he becomes the new Jigsaw.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I bet this is going to be a great movie. Great movie. But yeah, interesting news. Tobin Bell's great. It's a guy I don't see in very much stuff. I feel like before I seen him in Saw, though, I had kind of seen him in more then. I remember seeing him a lot on television and stuff like that. But ever since I don't remember the last Saw he was in. It was like 5 maybe or 6 where his daughter kind of ends up killing him and becoming she becomes Jigsaw. So yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. He's got to be older too.
Well, according to his credits, it looks like he's been in all of them, although in Spiral it was only a photo.
Okay. See, I was going to say I definitely don't think he was in that last one. But yeah, that makes sense. So it would make sense to bring him back into this. It's a very iconic face when we think about Saw. We obviously kind of think about Tobin Bell, right? So yeah, very interesting news. Cool, exciting. Glad to know that we have another horror franchise coming next October, Shane. So we'll have the chance to check out. We had Hellraiser this year, and Predator had a new movie, and all these movies that
we almost watched Prey last night.
You gotta check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe next year we'll have a different set of these. We'll have Saw. We'll have we have the Exorcist movie coming from the guy who made Halloween Ends, and that is also probably starring Corey. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, exciting news. Happy for Tobin Bell. And hopefully, I'm hoping Chris Rock is involved in this one again because I really think he brought a new, different, unique feel and take to the franchise. So can't wait to see that. With that down, we're going to move on to our second. Oh, for sure, guys. Let us know down in the comment section below. What are you guys' thoughts on Tobin Bell reprising his role as Jigsaw in the next Saw films? Let us know down in the comment section below what you guys think of that. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on to our second main topic today, which was going to be our main topic, Shane. But news. So, Star Wars is kind of to me a dying franchise. There was I can't remember what it's called, The Rise of Skywalker or whatever. All 3 of those new Star Wars movies kind of just merge into one. It's pretty much exactly the way Shane feels about the prequels. They kind of merge into one blah fest of why did I do this to myself? But after it ended, it also was successful still, right? It made $1 billion. They're all successful. So the question was, hey, now that we've had Star Wars ends or Skywalker ends, basically, when would we get another Star Wars movie that was actually a canonical in the sense of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 9 now, right? So when will we get 10? Is it 10? I think we're at. So the question was kind of when would we get that? Well, it's looking like now that we may be getting it sooner than we thought, and that it's may been in the works for a little while. And this is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. So this Star Wars movie is in the works with Damon Lindelof, but the part that's got me really, really excited about this news, and the reason I wanted it to be the main topic today, is because the director from Miss Marvel is attached to this, guys. This is awesome and exciting news. If you guys haven't checked out Miss Marvel, you got to go check it out. Even if you think it's not for you, I thought the same thing. I'm a 30-year-old grown man. I didn't think for 1 second this 14-year-old girl's movie was going to be for me. Our show was going to be for me. And I don't think it was for me, but it worked for me. And so you should definitely go give it a shot if you haven't. And if you're a film lover, which I know if you're watching this show, you probably are, you'll at least respect it. You'll be like, damn, this is well made. Like, it may not be the kind of material that I want it to be, but you just can't help but, marvel at it, pardon the pun. But yeah, it's exciting to hear this. This is good news for Star Wars fans, like I said, because the question was when or if we would even get, and I don't even know if we should get a Star Wars 10 or whatever. Maybe there's something we do where we just stop doing that or restart, or I'm not really sure what the answer is there for sure, but it does feel like all that stuff is kind of in the past and I don't want to say played out, but it just feels old, man. I'm tired of it. And it's all self-connected to itself. And the moment you think something's different, it's like, no, actually that's Palpatine's granddaughter. So, and I'm just kind of getting exhausted of it. And then we got The Mandalorian, which gave us this brand new, completely different thing that has nothing to do with Skywalkers. And I loved it. And everything we've gotten after The Mandalorian has been shaky as well. The Book of Boba Fett was not great. Obi-Wan was not great to me. So this is exciting to bring in a director, like I said, from something. Also, the Lindelof is the guy who wrote the Watchmen, Shane, series, I believe, for HBO Max. Not the one that you love so much that was directed by your second favorite director of all time.
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
That's him. That's the one. But yes, so that's pretty exciting too. I will completely be open and honest that I haven't even seen 1 second of that Watchmen series. I tried to want to because I really love that Watchmen movie by Zack Snyder. But I just, again, with it not really being the Watchmen I knew, I just couldn't find a way to want to try. But I've heard great things about that series, as I'm sure you have too, Shane. And it's sitting high on Rotten Tomatoes too, so the critics loved it. Audiences love it. So you got him, writing it. You got her directing it. This is looking awesome, man. The other cool thing about this is that this has kind of been laid low, right? Like, this is been happening kind of in the background, and we just haven't heard anything about it. And this is kind of the first we're hearing about it. And they are saying that they do have untitled films slated for December 2025 and December 2027. And I imagine that both of those films will be in that saga of films where you have, like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. They're not going to be like one-offs like Rogue One was, or like Solo, a Star Wars story was. So yeah, super excited. Shane, I know you haven't had a chance to check out Miss Marvel yourself, but the direction and all, the style of it is very much like Edgar Wright, and very much like Scott Pilgrim. It's very artsy, and
it is colorful. I tried to watch it and I turned it off. didn't care.
Yeah, and I get that. Like I said, it is definitely, not meant for us, But what really attached me to it was the family dynamic. We always see these families that are like her brother, like most brothers in things we see, is completely against his sister, and I hate where this brother, it was the opposite. So I was just, and it's cultural significant, right? Because culturally, the way family is to them is so different than us.
I know that was a big aspect that you took away.
And I really loved that stuff about it. And but anyways, that being said, you're hearing this news about this, unknown Star Wars film that's in the making now. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm such a huge Star Wars fan that I'm so excited. No, I think it's funny that both the breaking news today, and this is kind of how the trend is that both these are breaking news. One is we got Star Wars now hiring a Marvel, person because Marvel's so successful. And same with DC. We're going to talk about that soon. So obviously, Marvel's really successful. All these other franchises, like, let's get as many talented people as we can, which is great news for me because that just means less movies that I have to avoid. Because I'm looking at Damon Lindelof's list here, and why are we excited? Because he wrote Star Trek Into Darkness?
Hey, people love Star Trek Into Darkness,
yeah,
man.
I guess.
People really do. I've never seen any of those movies.
I saw the first one, but couldn't stand it.
People try to tell me, they're like, dude, I'm telling you, you love it. I mean, even Trevor and Lucas, all of them try to tell me that.
Well, there you go. So they're
great.
Probably going crazy right now that, it's funny because... they did this with J.J. Abrams. He makes Star Trek. It's successful.
Yeah,
let's bring him in for the trilogy.
People tell me those are good too.
Yeah, and so you bring him in to do the Star Wars trilogy, which I only saw the first one of that one. That's all I needed to see. And so now they're bringing in the next Star Trek guy to revamp Star Wars. So it's pretty funny. These Star Trek fans, the Trekkies out there, they got to be like, yeah, we know what's up. We got the writers over here. Star Wars has to steal our writers. So I this is big news because it's got two big names that people seem to care about working on something that people love, and cool.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is Shane, as you're aware to a certain extent, that Star Wars hasn't had a lot of wins lately.
They haven't.
They haven't.
Mandalorian was like everything.
Yeah, but Mandalorian was 3 years ago.
I think it was just last year, right?
No,
was it 3 years ago.
Season 3 comes out.
Oh wow!
So that was 3 years ago. I mean, nothing Star Wars has been that good since then.
Probably
besides
because there's
Mandalorian season 2.
Probably because you're getting too much Star Wars. Because then you get the Skywalker stuff after that, and
yeah, but it's just not good.
Yeah.
And like we say all the time,
if you didn't get Mandalorian, you probably would have been like, this is the best Star Wars thing ever.
Right. Yeah. But it is also, I think has a lot it starts with the creatives, for me, like I said, I really enjoyed Miss Marvel. So having her there to direct it, I think will help a lot. I mean, just like having Jon Favreau, who mainly directs and writes The Mandalorian, has helped a lot too. When you have someone that's like a good creative that is passionate about the project specifically, I think that it's what's best for that franchise. And again, Star Wars just needs a win, in my opinion. I'm kind of burnt out on Star Wars, man. Like I've just got to the point where it all just feels repetitive and it feels the same. And I'm starting to kind of feel that way with
it is really cool.
Marvel.
They're bringing in a female director though for this next maybe trilogy because I think Star Wars is seen as a boys type world. So it is very cool to see a female, see if, she puts a touch on this and, maybe it's something that more people like myself are drawn back into.
Right. Well, she also, clearly can, bring in that younger crowd too, right? And that, as you can attest to more than anyone, that's what Star Wars was really all about, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was that wonder that kids got from it. And, I'm excited for this. I see what you're saying, though. I just hope that it's a win for them because, like I said, they really need it. All of these franchises, I feel like, are starting to need it slowly and slowly as we go on. But yeah, let us know, guys, down in the comment section what your guys' thoughts are on this Star Wars movie that's in the works with the writer from the Watchmen series and the director from Miss Marvel. With that being said, we're gonna move on to our breaking news. Shane, I can officially use. Boom, there it is.
There it is.
It's breaking. We're broken. We have broken it, guys. Just moments before we were gonna go on the show. You guys seen it on every article we were here. They're trying to alert us all. James Gunn is going to be the head of DC, guys. This is shocking news. Like, shocking. This should say shocking, not breaking. Shocking, because this is crazy to me. We could talk about this for an hour, I feel like. But let's not. So, Peter Safran is also there with him, they're saying. I could care less about that. He's the guy that did a lot of the Blumhouse stuff, I believe, like Annabelle and stuff like that. That's cool and interesting. The true news to this, guys, is James Gunn is Kevin Feige for DC now. That's crazy. This is wild. I love James Gunn. For the most part, I enjoy his films. Shane, you were asking me before the show started, did I like his Suicide Squad movie? And no, I did not. Not only did I not like it, I never want to see it again. I mean, there was probably 2 or 3 moments that I really enjoyed. I remember telling you, Shane, that I thought one of the best moments of that movie, and you probably ain't going to remember this, but I thought one of the best moments of that movie was
Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the one that James Gunn did. Right, I know. But I was telling you this when I seen it a couple years ago, that one of the best moments in the movie was when King Shark, who's a giant CG shark, is on a bus. He can't even really talk, He's on a bus with everybody heading to the thing. It's raining out. They stop at a stoplight, and there's a couple that come out of a bar that are clearly, newly dating and are in love, and they stop and they kiss each other in the rain. And you cut to King Shark, and he puts his hand on the window, and you can see, that he longs for just love and the things that we all have. And like I was telling you that day, anytime your CG shark character is giving me the best moment of the film,
the best performance, yeah, that ain't good. This
is not good.
That's not a good sign.
This is not good at all. Or one of my favorite quotes coming out of it was, there was a bunch of these other nerds, because I'm a nerd too, but there's a bunch of these other nerds that were out there, and they're in a group, talking about it, and me and my wife walk by, and I overhear one of them was, but the coolest part is when King Shark grabs that dude and rips him in half. And it's he's not wrong. That sucks. That sucks that was the coolest. That was one of the coolest parts. So yeah, I really didn't like that movie. I thought that movie was too much James Gunn. I felt like someone threw him a big bag of cocaine and was like, here's a big bag of money to do whatever you want, James Gunn. And I don't think that works. We've seen that with lots of people. Someone we love a lot, David Lynch, even has, dug himself a hole, being given the ability to do what he wants.
Unlimited freedom.
Yes, yeah. Right. And so I don't think that, I think that too much James Gunn might be too much James Gunn. But again, you have Peter Safran there. So this is going to be kind of ran together. I imagine Safran's going to handle more of the television side of it, I imagine. But who knows what we're going to get? James Gunn made a Peacemaker with John Cena, and that was fucking awesome. That's still one of the best shows that I've seen comic book wise this year. That is a good show. So yeah, we could totally get that. I could see a James Gunn animated whatever, Suicide Squad animated show or whatever. So this is crazy. Crazy and more than crazy, it's just unexpected. Like I said, this should say shocking, because it really did just it just set me back in my seat. I'm like, whoa, we're gonna have to change the whole show now today, because just it's such big news. Again, we know how much Kevin Feige brings to Marvel. James Gunn's been there, guys. He's been working with Marvel under Kevin Feige. As we know, Guardians is coming up. This will be his third film. He also did the holiday special. He's been executive producer on other things for Marvel. He's very dug in deep with how all these things work. And more than anything, just like Kevin Feige, James Gunn is a huge fan of this world. He's a huge fan of DC. He's a huge fan of these characters. He's a huge fan of the DC characters that we don't even freaking know, guys. Like Polka Dot Man and stuff like I didn't even know who these people were, but he does, and just like the Guardians of the Galaxy, he can make obviously a very good movie with very unknown, weird characters. So it's exciting to think that we have someone there now that we can look to. That we can say, hey, we have at least some faith that this guy knows what he's doing, knows how to make good movies, knows how to make good TV shows, and people love him, right? And so now you got him. And I think having him as the head is going to change a lot for DC. As we talked about, we have Black Adam out in theaters right now. I think that's going to kind of give us a little bit of a reset. We also had the Batman, right? Which is like its whole own separate thing. Again, I can't even express how exciting this is to me. I think that Walter Hamada, the former president of DC, was doing the best he could at the time, but he came in, with so much problems. He came in during the Justice League stuff and the Batman versus Superman stuff and all of those things. So I think that this is going to really right the ship for them, I hope. Like I said, I think it helps definitely having somebody who really loves this material and who's a real fan of all these things. And as much as I didn't like that Suicide Squad movie, it's like a 90-some% critically and a 90-something audience. So most people enjoyed that movie. I mean, pretty much everybody but me enjoyed that movie. So it looks good. I'm assuming that, again, as you know, Shane, I'm not the biggest DC fan, but I'm assuming if you're a DC fan like I'm a Marvel Disney fan, you got to be super stoked today. This has to be really exciting news to know that you got someone that you think you could trust, that's now helming the ship. And I mean, again, we're not even talking much about Peter Safran, but he has his whole own, reputation and things that he's going to bring into this as well. And I think that'll help too, right? Because we always talk about how Kevin Feige has overextended himself, and he now, so having two Feiges could really, really help the situation, especially if they're going to be not just handling the films, but the television and the animation and so on and so forth. Shane, you're hearing this information, this news. I know you haven't seen, you probably only seen Guardians of the Galaxy. It's probably the only James Gunn thing you've even seen. But
that and Super.
Oh, with Dwight, with Rainn Wilson?
Yeah.
Classic.
That was probably the best thing probably the only thing that I like that James Gunn did. But he's a big name. You're excited. We were talking about it earlier, and you guys were super excited that this was happening. So that's great news. I hate being the contrarian, but that's me. On this, yeah, right. I'm this cranky old man that remembers when I was growing up, our big directors were like the Coen brothers up and coming, or Tarantino. Now we got Gunn and Abrams and Snyder. These giants of the industry putting their stamps on these franchises that they don't own or control. Whatever. I'm sorry. Honestly, this is exciting news because people flipped out over Guardians. They love that movie, and I love DC Comics. So the fact that they got such a big gun over at DC, that's a huge win for them. So I am happy for them. One thing that, I'm reading this article here. One thing I want to say real quick to clear up is, and I lost it. Here we go. So from what I'm reading, Safran's going to be more in charge of the business and production side. And then
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then creative wise, James Gunn.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And the only thing that I'm a little bit like, we'll see how this goes is, again, just reading the details. It's for a 4-year deal.
Sure.
I mean, how long does it take a movie to get made now?
Yeah.
3 years?
Hey, listen, look, I don't blame them. I mean, with all the shit they've dealt with, I'm not giving nobody a 10-year contract
I'm
again.
just saying, I think I'd be more excited if it was a 10-year contract, because let's say he gets the world going and the first couple movies start coming out.
But if he gets the world going in 4 years, they're going to go, yes.
But then you get
sign
this
new one, James.
Sure, but if you get, let's say he doesn't sign, and then you get, you're right, if there's successful money talks, right?
Yeah.
So if, let's say for whatever reason, Marvel hires him back because they offer him $1 billion or something. And then you got new creative team going, well, are we going to follow James Gunn's plans? Well, maybe we'll deviate this way.
But
or
see,
this
Gunn's
way.
looking at it as his advantage too, right? Because he's thinking, shit, in 4 years, I'll have this motherfucker going crazy. And then I can renew and be like, hey, if you want to keep me around. But if he signs the 10 now, he's Scottie Pippen in himself, Shane.
Sure, but this is also the company that's vowed to cut $3 billion in the next 2 years.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
so,
that's cutting DC movies.
Yeah.
Like, with everyone involved just going.
And so, now we got Discovery, who's in charge of the money for Warner Brothers.
Right.
But now Gunn, who's like,
temporarily.
oh, man, I got all these great ideas. And who knows if Discovery can be like, oh, that sounds too expensive. Let's not do that.
That's the beautiful thing about all of this, Shane, is I don't know if you know this or not, but David Zaslav, is the guy who runs Discovery. It was him who wanted to buy Warner Brothers. And then after buying them, a while went by, he came out and was like, hey, look, man, the only reason I bought this is because I'm finna flip this shit. And this is that perfect thing, like we were talking about selling out, right? He knows this. He's selling this, right? So who cares how it does? Look how good, but look what it brings us right now. So if you're a guy looking to buy Warner Brothers, you're going, well, shit, they got James Gunn running DC
I guarantee
now.
you, as soon as this Gunn news, if we look at the stock sheets.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
I got
absolutely.
some. I got a
there
little
you go.
bit.
You got some DC stock?
Warner
stock?
Brothers stock. Yeah. It was just so low. I mean, there was no. I mean, if you look at it, studio wise, if you look at every other, I mean, like specifically, you want to compare it to Marvel, right? In Disney's Marvel studio, and if you compare it to that, like those stocks are trading for hundreds of dollars, and DC's like 10,
$20, 10. Ouch.
That's nothing. Like if they can write that ship, Shane, then we'll be having a whole different conversation when all my stocks are worth $100 a piece.
I hope they do, because honestly, out of the classic studios, Warner's probably my favorite. They're still around. That's great. They also had the legacy of the Looney Tunes. Then when they bought DC Comics back in the 70s, I think. I mean, now you're combining another one of my loves. So, I'm always rooting for Warner Brothers. And I do hope they get, back on track, because I was there, I guess not quite 20 years ago, and it was the most depressing studio tour that we took. It was just like you could see tumbleweeds, and it was like you wanted to cry.
Oh, that's weird, man, because a pundit you and I both know very well has always told me, like, if you go there, make sure you go and take the Warner Brothers tour. But he did work there for years too. So,
well, it wasn't the backlot tour. This was like a production tour. I was there with my animation teacher.
Yeah, you were trying to. Yeah, it's a whole different kind of tour. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so we saw all the working.
See the opposite tour.
Yeah, and it was just depressing. They were making the Green Lantern animated movie. I think this was like 2007 or something.
Sure.
And I mean, it looked great, but everybody was just there, just like, I'm in hell.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've heard about those. Same guy I was talking about. He talks about how when he was doing that, it was like what do you call those things where they make kids work?
Oh, child labor.
Yeah, but I feel like there's like a name.
Slave labor.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a name for like the place that they do it at. And
you mean like a I know what you're talking
about. Right.
Yeah.
And he was saying it was like that. He said that, you go in there and everyone's like they're almost forced to be there. And he said that they would set up like they would have to
sweatshop.
Yes. He said that they'd have to like rent out a warehouse just randomly, and they would set up all these computers and all these desks and shit just for like a 10-minute scene on a movie. And that it would take, weeks.
Couple months or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They would have to spend all this money. And he said everyone in there was just like you were saying, just like, like a sweatshop.
This is my dream.
Right. I'm working on Iron Man. Right. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are right. You and like all those other 10,000 dudes at the end credits when it's like, this production company.
You know, a studio here worked on Iron Man and Transformers, and they're no longer around because that stuff is
or like we even talk often about the Life of Pi crew, right?
Yeah.
That won the Academy Award while filing bankruptcy,
right? And then went on to do Sonic and was asked to redo all their work again. So they can't win.
Yeah, for sure. I seen that those guys though. We're gonna be making some sort of series though. I can't remember what it was. But I just remember seeing they were like the Life of Pi place.
And we didn't cover that here.
Series. We had to cover James Gunn, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. He's a big gun,
right? I do want to read a little bit from this article though, real quick before we move on from it, just because I like how they word this here. Here it is. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. The hierarchy of the power in the DC universe really is changing. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC's film, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Brothers that will replace DC Films. Again, I can't express enough how just shocking this is, especially that we didn't hear anything about it, like that they were wanting to do stuff, right? Nothing.
Just explosion, it's happened.
Yeah, just here it is. This is what's happening. But again, it makes sense. I think this is a splash for them, it makes sense to want it to be a big, if they would have said, new head of DC, Shane Wallace, we'd have been like
crickets.
Who? Yeah. Right, exactly.
But it is a big deal,
right? Yeah. But James Gunn really brings like a lot to it. I think.
I have a question for you, being a fan of both these directors and these comic book DC movies. The last couple weeks with Black Adam coming out and then the Henry Cavill reveal, we've heard a lot of the Zack Snyder universe is finally being restored. Mm-hmm. Didn't you feel like it was kind of going that way, and then all of a sudden it's just like this James Gunn news seemed out of nowhere? It seemed like they almost did have a way, and it's like, nope, you guys have no idea. This is breaking. We're just gonna.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's kind of what they wanted to do too. Is that they wanted this, and I think the timing of Black Adam kind of matches up with it too. Is that that there's this shift happening. It's all around. It's not just in the DC, EU, but also in the, like they say, in the hierarchy of, behind the scenes is also changing. And I think these things kind of coincide with each other. And I think that's why you announced this now. So again, as The Rock's been saying, and the director of Black Adam and the producers, that this is, the new, like, imagine this as Iron Man 1. Mm-hmm. That's what Black Adam is. And that would make sense to, like I said, to want to get out and say, and here's the guys that are going to be, making the movies going forward. And I think that's great, man. That there's no way in my mind, like zero chance that we don't get a Dr. Fate movie now. Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to get a Dr. Fate movie under James Gunn. There's no way it doesn't happen.
That's definitely more of his style.
Oh, yeah.
That more comedic approach to it. Mm-hmm. Are you excited? Are you looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I mean, I'm looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because a few things, like Will Poulter's in it as Adam Warlock. Will Poulter
cool.
is the sorry, Will, is the guy that they call the eyebrow kid.
From what?
Oh God, We're the Millers.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got the weird, that kid.
That kid's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was in the movie with Leo where he like sleeps in a bear or whatever.
Oh yeah, he was.
And he got nominated for an Academy Award for that movie, and he's a great actor. He was also in the Maze Runner, the first Maze Runner movie, which was really good. But yeah, dude's put on. You should see the dude. Like he's a record. He looks handsome all of a sudden, and he's all chiseled. He's got a chin, and he's fucking ripped. I mean, he looks like Adam Warlock, man. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also excited for the things that we may get with Guardians 3. We may finally figure out, how Rocket came to be, which is very interesting to me. Interesting.
You don't think that should be its own story, like a separate, maybe even like a Werewolf by Night type of thing?
I mean, it's just like in Guardians 2 was about Ego, the living planet, which ended up,
I didn't see Guardians 2.
Which ended up being Quill's dad. So it was really his story, but it's the Guardians because they're a team. So I think it's going to be something like that.
If they did that with the second one, I could see him doing that with the third one.
I think the High Evolutionary, you may not even know this, Shane, but you could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the High Evolutionary is who made Rocket.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know who the High Evolutionary is?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and he created Rocket and stuff. So I think we'll kind of get into that, and maybe just like the group has to help Peter kill his father, maybe the group has to help Rocket, kill
overcome
his creator.
Something or whatever it is. Yeah,
for sure. So I'm excited to an extent. Honestly, to be completely honest, I'm more excited for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's coming out in a couple of months.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, because I'm
definitely seems like James Gunn.
Yeah, right. It's that kind of stuff that feels like that's when I could handle giving him a bag of cocaine and a bunch of money and saying, do what you want. Because it's probably going to be 45, 50 minutes, and I just want it to be stupid.
Oh, it better be. It better be like the Star Wars Christmas special. They better be celebrating some ridiculous holiday that's not Christmas. It's, Sweater Day or whatever it is.
Right, for sure. So, yeah, I'm super excited for that. And that's not that far away, man. That's only a couple months. I mean, that's like November, I think. It might be beginning of December. But, so I'm stoked for that more than I am probably Guardians 3. But I haven't seen that at Guardians 3 yet either. So, once we see, and it's so far away. So, once we see a trailer for Guardians 3, I'll probably be more excited as long as it's not like Ant-Man 3's trailer.
Oh, man.
But yeah, this is exciting news to me, though. I'm super stoked. Happy for James Gunn, too. Shane, I don't know if you remember, but something we were talking about adding our Twitter handles on here. It wasn't but just like 3 or 4 years ago, right, that DC fired. Marvel. That Disney fired James Gunn because some tweets he made when he was, 8 years old or whatever.
Well, looking how things spread out through time-wise, that's probably the best mistake he ever made in his life, because if he doesn't get fired at Marvel, he doesn't go to DC.
Yeah, right.
Make Suicide Squad.
Right, but
he doesn't go to DC. He doesn't
the,
become the head of DC.
But then he got his cake and got to eat it too.
Yeah, because he comes back to Guardians.
Because Disney gets on the phone and is like, "Yo, man, we was wrong. I mean, I guess if DC's willing to accept it." Right. And James Gunn, now he's big dog in the room, right?
Absolutely.
And he's like, well, I'll do that one last movie for you, but that's it.
Now I'm going to your competition.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm going to head
everything. Oh, Marvel's doing TV now? Well, we're doing TV.
Doing TV now, right? Yeah, so I think it's brilliant. And not to mention, like I said, he worked under, Feige for years. So I'm sure he's gathered a lot of knowledge and information on how to build a successful franchise and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait. Guys, let me know down in the comment section below, what are your guys' thoughts? James Gunn leading DC. That's awesome, man. If anything, we should be excited by the potential of it.
Here we go.
I mean, maybe this goes disastrous. Maybe it does, guys. But right now, we should celebrate this as a small win, because it's been disastrous. It's one of those things where it's hard to imagine it getting any worse, right, Shane? It's like, yeah, I mean, maybe he fucks it up, but it couldn't be much worse than it is right now. So hopefully this, like I said, rights the ship. It seems like Zaslav is really trying to make splashes, while also, this is a big splash, but he's also trying to, something we didn't talk about, is cutting and saving a lot of money, right? He saved over $2 billion for them just with some of the cuts that he's made. So he's saving he's also the guy that came in and was like, J.J. Abrams is making nothing.
Yeah.
Not a damn thing under my damn roof.
Well, now J.J. Abrams trying to shop that DC show around.
Not just that. He's trying to shop everything he was doing. They had one show, I remember telling you, they had given him like $400 million for it, and they were like, they had already spent like $150 million and had done like 4 or 5 episodes. And even then, Davis Adams was like, oh, okay, yeah, but I know when to cut my losses. We spent $150 on it. We're going to get nothing out of it if I cut it off, but okay.
Yeah, it's better than spending.
I seen some of it.
Yeah.
Let's just get it out of here. I mean, that's what happened with the Batwoman movie, right? That ended up getting canceled is that he went in, and when they bought the company, he went and was like, I want to see everything. And when he seen that movie, he was like,
yeah, no one else is seeing this.
Yeah, this can't be. This is gonna fuck shit up. And it's funny too because the axe swings both ways because. As I was telling you, the Blue Beetle movie was meant to be a direct-to-streaming movie. But he sat down and watched it and was like, streaming my ass? This thing's going to theaters. We're going to bank money off of this. This is a good fucking movie. So it seems like they have a good leader there that's trying at least. It's always difficult, right, when you're trying to make those business decisions with those creative decisions.
Absolutely.
But it seems like he's trying his best. It also hurts as a creator and as a fellow creator, Shane, I'm sure you understand that all those people, there's thousands of people that worked on that Batwoman or Batgirl movie.
Yeah, I read something about all the cuts that they saved.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people got laid off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But, that's also why I don't live in Los Angeles and pursue that, because it is a, work for hire game, and I didn't want to play that game.
Yeah, it's a dog-eat-dog world, man.
Exactly. So all the people, they know, that's part of the, why they strive for the success is so they can find the stability within, that lifestyle, because it's tough out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's anybody's game out there, or as we like to say in the football world, next man up, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, that being said, guys, again, let us know down in the comment section below. What are you guys thinking about this whole thing? You excited? More James Gunn, less James Gunn, more Coke, less Coke. Let us know what you think about James Gunn.
Less Coke for him, more Coke for us.
Yeah. And probably less money, too. Yeah. Because I think he ends up spending a lot of it on... Never mind. Anyway, we're going to move on. I think that's it, right? Should be our final main topic today. So we're going to move on with any comments and questions. It doesn't look like we have a lot, but Shane, what do we got?
Yeah, we got a few here. We got some from Land Standard and from Mad Making Mine Productions. Land Standard wants to know, could Jigsaw get Freddy, Michael, and Jason trapped in a room, Saw style?
I mean, I think it'd be too hard for him to acquire all of them, right?
Yeah.
But interesting idea. The real question would be, what happens if they all get trapped in a room together? Is it like feral animals? Are they all just like...
They won't help each other.
They're all picking a corner, like this is my area, and yeah.
Would you watch that movie?
I don't know. Is it good? All I can imagine is Halloween 2 in the hospital at the end where you always complain about this movie, and I love that movie so much, but this part of the movie is it's ridiculously stupid. But at the very end, she finally gets his gun. They've been shooting at him this whole time and missing him and barely hitting him. She gets his gun, shoots him twice, dead in both eyes.
Right.
Like she's just
it's White Earp all of a sudden.
She's a Hawkeye. She's John Wick. All of a sudden, shoots him in both eyes, and then for the next 2 minutes, Michael spends the next 2 minutes walking around the room going. So, for some reason in my mind, that's what I'm imagining. They're all just cutting at each other.
I love it.
What else do you do? I mean, you're in a room with killers.
Silent killers too,
But
except for Robert Englund.
I think it'd be too hard because Jigsaw's just like a real serial killer, right? He's just like you and me. He's a dude. Even picking Jason up and carrying him around, he's gonna need some help, man.
A wheelbarrow.
Yeah, for sure. And then Freddy, you gotta kind of like summon that dude. You basically need to have the dream, and then he's gotta be in the room with the watch on. You grab Freddy, the watch goes off. He wakes up in the saw room. You quickly run out, shut the door. I mean, that's the only options you got. I don't think so. So yeah, but I would probably almost definitely watch this. That being said, in the next couple of days, I'm going to finally do, I keep talking about it, but it's happening. I'm going to do my yearly Freddy vs. Jason watch. I'll probably do like a little get together. Usually I try to, but gosh, it's just so good. I love that movie. So I would watch a mashup of all of them. I remember when I was a real young kid and YouTube first came about, somebody had made one of those kind of fan. It looked like, it's like a trailer. But it was like all of them in it. Oh, and cool. Right. And it looks so cool.
You're still waiting for that movie.
Yes, right. For sure. Or I was telling you that in the end, I forget who owns. Is it New Line that owns Freddy. Jason and Freddy?
Is it? I know they own New Line owns Freddy.
Okay, yeah. So it was New Line that they ended up buying Jason. They did the Freddy vs. Jason movie, and they were trying. Who owned Hellraiser? Miramax, and they were trying to get the rights for Pinhead, and there was going to be a post-credit scene where they both end up in hell, and Pinhead's like, "Hello, boys," or something.
You gotta let him do that.
Come on.
That's a great ending.
Right, and like I said, where are those movies at? Where are monster mashup movies, man? Come on, we want more of those. What else do we got?
Is it time to leave the Skywalker family behind in the next Star Wars trilogy?
This is a very easy question. It was time to leave the Skywalkers alone in the last trilogy, guys. I mean, again, something that I've disagreed about a lot with you, Shane, is that the midichlorians and all that stuff, and the idea that I think you're right, is that the idea was when we first seen Star Wars that, hey, I could be Luke.
Anybody could be a Jedi. Right, you just got to feel the Force. Yeah, we're all open. If the Force is everywhere, it's up to us to be able to open our minds.
It's just like that, the line from the Bible, like the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain, right? I mean, that applies to all of us, but none of us are out here moving mountains, right? But we all have the ability to. Exactly. And that's kind of how the Force felt, right? And then it became, no, actually, you got to be related to like one of these, main families.
Like the royal family?
Right, yeah, right.
What?
Right. And I think that's really taken away a lot of that wonder and hope, as you would, of me being able to be, or a regular guy or a kid, my daughter, watching it and thinking, oh, wow, I could be the next, Daisy Ridley. I forget, Rey is her character's name. But instead, you find out again that she's actually Palpatine's granddaughter. So then, again, my daughter's like, oh, well, I guess
my dad's normal. I guess I'm normal.
Yeah. Well, I guess I got to hope I got a grandpa no one told me about. So, yeah, I think it was time to get rid of the Skywalker series saga a long time ago. I mean, look, I love Luke Skywalker and Anakin and Vader and all of those people just as much as anyone else does. I say it all the time, Shane, that the greatest on-screen villain ever is Darth Vader. I really do believe that. But it's still, I've been saying this since James Earl Jones got so old he could barely talk. I would say, well, maybe it's time that, we move on. But the problem is that, what I felt with going into the Rings of Power, which was, where are all my people? Where's my boy Legolas? Where's
Gimli?
Say
you want it, but when you get it.
But then I get it, and I'm like, damn, I don't feel at home without my boys here, So I think sometimes that happens. For proof positive for me on that is that Star Wars movie you have seen by J.J. Abrams. We get, Adam Driver's, one of the worst characters ever portrayed in anything. I can't even remember his name.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. But want to be Darth Vader. You know, the answer to us realizing that we can't keep using Vader.
He's like the goth Vader.
Yeah, right. Vader. He's all pale and
he was like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3.
Exactly like that, but worse. But worse. And yeah, so I think that I think that's the problem though, right? Is that you want to move away, but you sometimes do, and you end up. Again, winning cures everything. Maybe there's I love Darth Maul. I thought Darth Maul was great, even in the little bit that we got him in the in that Phantom of the Menace movie. But yeah, you got to give me somebody I like in order for me to want to forget about Darth Vader, right? Mm-hmm. And definitely that Adam Driver, again, whatever the hell that character's name is. I can't even remember its name. How do you not remember? He's in 3 movies, Shane. I've seen him all 3, and he's the main villain of all 3 movies, and I don't even know his name. Crazy, but yeah, you gotta stop.
That obviously is a sign of not a good villain. I mean, I can still remember Hans Gruber's name from Die Hard.
Kylo Ren.
Oh, that's right, Kylo.
Which sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Now that I remembered it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I want to love all things Star Wars. I love lightsabers, and I love the Force, and I love Luke Skywalker and all those original characters. So hopefully they're able to do more and get it all figured out. What else do we got, Shane?
Mad Making Mine Productions wants to know best James Gunn movie.
Oh man, that's tough. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go with the one with Dwight.
Yeah, Super.
I'm gonna take Super. I think that is one of the most not rated, but underappreciated and unknown, just in general, comic book. Because that's a real comic, is it not?
I don't think it is, but it's based on a lot of tropes. I don't believe it is.
I must be thinking of the one with Liam Neeson, Dark Man.
Oh, that is real.
Based on a comic. Okay, so not even based on a real comic book. That movie was awesome.
Dark Man, yeah, it was.
That one, one
Super
too.
was too.
But Super was good too. I love Rainn Wilson. It was very kind of kick-assy, kind of in a way. It's just like that kind of. But that's one of those movies that you just kind of forget existed, but is really a cool movie. Other than that, I would probably say Slither, man. Like, you still haven't seen that.
No, you've been trying to get me to see it.
It's a horror comedy movie. It's great. I mean, it's the first time I ever seen a James Gunn movie, and that was probably like around the year I graduated high school, so like 2010. Was when I seen that. And I remember it being a big deal. Everyone's talking about it. I remember the trailers for it all the time playing on TV when I was trying to watch NBA basketball. And I just remember thinking, stupid. I'll never see this.
And then it's pretty good.
And then I ended up renting it. And I was like, oh, man, this is no wonder everyone was all hyped up about it.
I do actually want to see that one. I'm not a big Gunn fan. I didn't even know he made Super until I just looked it up. And so the only movie I thought I had ever seen was Guardians, which I hated.
Right.
And so I was like, man, I don't like James Gunn. I'll never check out any of his movies, so why would I ever watch Slither? But going through his credits here, I didn't realize he got to start with Tromeo and Juliet, which is a Troma film, which is a very low independent.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Lowbrow, very kind of gory.
Yeah.
A production studio, Lloyd Kaufman, and I love that crap.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he did that and then made his own horror movie, I got to see Slither. That sounds fun.
Yeah, you're going to be like, whoa, how do I not like James Gunn?
Because probably.
It is really good. It is. It's a very unique movie too. It reminds me of a lot how we both ended up feeling about Cabin in the Woods. It was just so new and fresh and different, And that's how Slither was for me when I seen it. So
yeah, I still love Cabin in the Woods. I haven't seen it in a few years.
Me too, right? We're on Halloween. Yeah, I own it. Why? We should totally go back and check it out. That's a great movie.
It is.
And the moral of that movie is that smoke weed, people, because if you do, you will not get murdered or mind controlled. That's a fact, according to the movie. These are facts. Also, the coolest thing about that is, I don't know if you know this or not, was written by Joss Whedon.
I did know that.
In a weekend.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, in a weekend. They were on like they went to a lake. They were there Saturday and Sunday, him and another famous director, and they wrote that in a weekend.
Crazy. I had no idea. Yeah.
crazy shit.
Sounds like a fun weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Especially at the lake.
Yeah,
Lots of
right.
money going around.
Blow.
All right, what else do we got?
Today's episode brought to you by cocaine.
You're right.
So much talk.
Slash James Gunn.
Slash James Gunn. I guess when you're talking James Gunn.
James Gunn brand
inevitably-
cocaine.
That's right. Oh, my goodness. Suicide Squad 1 or 2?
Okay, so Noah was just here in the studio. Hopefully, we'll have him on the show while he's in town from Tennessee. But he was mentioning this a little bit. Man, honestly, God, I think I hated that James Gunn Suicide Squad movie so freaking much that specifically I remember me and my wife both being like, "Man, that wasn't even better than that shitty last one." And I think I still feel that way. I think cinematically and stuff, I mean, it looks way better and it's way newer and, you know.
Which Joker is Jared Leto? Is that the first or second?
That's the first one.
Okay, no wonder you hate that one.
Yeah, I hate them both, really. But I mean, honestly, have you seen the first Suicide Squad movie? Honestly, that the Joker stuff in there is probably the best part of the movie. Yeah.
He is a great character.
Yeah, it's just so good. And every time him and Harley are having, I mean, they're only on screen together for like 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes is the best. I mean, it's not all in one moment, but they break it up. And those 10 minutes combined are the best parts of the movie because their relationship is fucking wild, you know. And for me personally, I had no idea. I didn't even know who Harley Quinn was going into that.
Even as a Batman and animated series fan?
I mean, I remember the character, but I didn't remember, you know, that she was actually a doctor that was his doctor, and like he turned her, of course.
Yep.
And I didn't remember any of that. So I thought all that shit was kind of compelling in a way that was new to me, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Plus, as much as I hate Leto, he has fantastic performances, and then Margot Robbie is obviously amazing. So together, I thought they had it was a very off-putting chemistry. But I think that's what it was supposed to be because you almost don't want to watch them because they're so bad and different and but yeah, I thought overall, if you're really gonna make me pick Mad Making Mine, I'm gonna probably take the first one. Honestly, it is definitely less coherent and edited or put together terribly comparatively. But overall, I feel like for me, the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, if I could sum it up in one word, it would be corny. It was just way.
That's how I feel about Guardians.
Corny.
You know?
Well, imagine that, but like
too much
R-rated and, you know, could do whatever, say whatever and do whatever because it's just so stupid. I mean, everything's over the top, you know, and the things that, it does the opposite of what like Black Adam does. The things that do interest you, like Polka Dot Man, very interesting, but they give you like one tease and that's it. They're like, hey, you know, why are you starting to glow? And what's that? What is that? He's like, well, it's actually a disease that I got from space. You know.
Man, that's a cool story. Well, I'll never mention it again.
And then I die at the end of the movie. So good luck. You know, hopefully you didn't want to know anymore. But yeah, where with Dr. Fate, you know, there wasn't just one of those moments. There was several moments that were drawing you into this character, and then by the time you felt that you were like, damn, I love this character, then you got what you wanted, which was him fighting Black Adam. I mean, so it's just so different. And I think that it was just way too campy, too corny. I just couldn't handle it, man. Like the whole time. I wanted to love it. Yeah. And I even knew that it was going to be.
Yeah, you were prepared.
It's a James Gunn movie. Yeah, and it still was just like, stop. Just have one moment of seriousness that isn't a shark looking at a couple out of a bus window in the rain, Shane.
That's amazing.
One moment that is serious, but that's not that, you know? But yeah.
Like King Shark for Halloween next year?
I mean, if I could afford it, I'm gonna have to hire a warehouse of CG dudes to walk around in a mocap Right? Yeah.
Real-time
It's
CG.
like screens all around me. I can see it. Technology's getting wild. All right,
man.
what else do we got?
That's it. But if I was going to put my say into this, since I haven't seen any of them, I'm going to answer something I want to answer. Mad Max Road Warrior or Mad Max Fury Road? Man, that is a tough one. They're both so good. So Fury Road, you know, I love how they developed this society, but Road Warrior so gritty. I might have to go Road Warrior.
So my issue with it is mainly this. Anything where I can't and there's not water, I don't want to watch it. It just makes you too thirsty. Too much sand, too much desert. Then there's like the main king dude. He's all like parched as shit.
That's
I'm
why
like,
you
somebody get him some water.
That's why you love Avatar so much. You're just surrounded by water. You're
Right,
just like,
yeah.
this
See,
is a
that's
movie.
what I want, right? Put me in the water. I want the way of the water. I don't want to be in a desert where we haven't had water in years. Just as soon as they establish the movie, I immediately am like, there it is.
You're thanking it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Woo, sucks to be those dudes. Yeah, but no, I wanted to love those movies. I thought the most ridiculous part, and every time I bring this up, everyone's like, "That's the best part," was when things are very scarce, right? But we got plenty enough gas to drive one of these trucks at 98 miles per hour just for
Followed
a
by-
dude
yeah,
with
right.
an amplifier and a guitar just to play badass music.
Think about
while
how
we
much
do
that weighs too.
Right?
You know,
Come on.
It'd be one thing if he was
You
like on
convert
top
some of that gas into water.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be different if he was on an electric car or something. Like, okay, well they can waste that. That's fine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a great point.
but yeah,
That is the most. Honestly, truthfully, that is my least favorite part of that movie is the
Yeah.
guitar player.
everyone
without a
always
doubt.
tells me, they're like, "That's so badass," though. I'm like, I mean, it's cool, but it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't
yeah.
think it was that cool.
Right. No, right. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, awesome. So I think that's it today, right?
That's it. Yep.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you again for joining us on another installment of the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movie, TV, and other screen-related news. It's been a blast. It's been fun. It's nice out. I'm ready to go out. I go on leave for Colorado here just tomorrow night. So one day left. I was able to get my hair cut today. So ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see some mountains and some lakes and do some hiking and stuff. So super excited. And yeah, we will be back here tomorrow for one last show before I head out. So yeah, guys, don't forget, go follow us on Twitter at Keaton Toothman, and as you see down here on Shane's at Planet Wallace. Go check us out. We want to interact with you guys more. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. I see 3 of you guys in here. I don't know if we have 3 thumbs up. We only have 2. Where's my 3rd thumbs up? You, whoever you are, do it. As Palpatine would say, do it. Anyways, yeah. So, guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, and we appreciate all your guys' comments and questions. As I always say, it's the funnest part of the show is interacting with you guys and taking your comments and questions. So, yeah, we'll see you guys back around here tomorrow.